Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Guildhall Gamers. The Roses in the Dark crew is going on to our next little stint on the road to the Unclaimed lands. Now, normally I do a little bit longer of an intro range, but let's get into the actual group and say hello. Because we are properly live. As a reminder point for everyone, we are the Guildhall Gamers, and we're also kind of poor, so if ever you see any artwork or things and it belongs to you, please let us know, and we will fix the system appropriately. Please don't sue us. We have no money to take. We also have a new face. One of our players is ill this week. Miles is not feeling well. And we are currently testing out a sixth member for our table, which we will meet them in the middle of our fun adventure range. Don't mind us, we're just minorly still getting a handful of things sorted out, such as I need this book. Right, and I need my pencil. And I also need a brain. If I only had a brain. Alright, set that. Now do that over there. So, do we have any other announcement ranges that we should go over before session starts?
Not at this time.
All right. So then, let me just pull up this particular book. All right. Of course, I moved my one pencil to here. I'll use a pen for writing down health stuff. We did end off last session right before the start of combat. The who would like to do a recap? If you want me to do it, I'm more than willing to.
So last session, what mostly was travel. Couple small encounters. Some camping, and the main event is we ran across what appears to be a caravan that was ambushed. We see several bodies around, and we had just noticed a mage standing off in the distance.
All right.
We are on our way to the Unclaimed lands and have had several days journey towards it, but have several weeks ahead of us.
My there it is. Open up my Google Sheets to have the calendar up. We are in the middle of Renderos. Among the bodies, you do notice that there is let me actually get character name range. Sorka. You do notice that one of the bodies is just unconscious. The actual hit from the spells didn't do a hell of a lot to this person. New player, you are going to start down 3 points.
Okay.
It's a good heavy strike unconscious, but
yeah.
You are down only 3 health. You are knocked for a loop, not knocked completely down. You don't need any major healing, but a touch-up later would be nice. And we're going to start off this session with me opening up this point and typing in, I call that for initiatives. I'm going to have the baddies go on 2 different initiatives because I am mean to you like that. Second. Let's see here. All right. Does anyone have higher than a 20? All right. Let's go 15 to 20.
In my case, 19.
All right. Great start, guys. All right, let's go 10 to 15. Oh, no. No one. Raven, you are muted if you are higher. Somewhere between 10 to 15.
No.
Oh, God.
5 to 10.
8.
Okay, 1 second.
Ow.
So, Wells is an 8. Anyone else? 5 to 10?
I'm 8 as well.
All right. Wells, what is your dexterity score?
14.
And Dionysus.
16.
So I'm bumping you up by 1.
This is gonna go great.
Yep.
All right, and then the rest of you.
That's a natural 1 for a total of 2.
Okay. 1 second.
Hey, I have a reason to roll low, but I got a 4.
We're off to a great start, everybody. We're gonna do good.
You guys were
Yep.
supposed to all roll higher than me. I have a reason for being low in the initiative.
Well, if it's
And-
any consolation, I did, but oh yeah, I'm still unconscious.
Sorka, what did you say yours was? 4?
4.
Cool. Awesome.
Yay!
And that's going into our chat. On Discord. And our initiative order is as such. We have grunts first. And then we have our unconscious person. Then we have scouts. Then Dionysus. Then Wells. Then Sorka. Then the caster off in the distance. And then Azarath. Picking
The
at his
tank goes
toes.
last.
Yeah, you need better dice, dude.
Yeah. You need more dice, and then you can have better dice.
I rolled 5 natural 20s yesterday with this die. I thought I could keep using
Yeah,
it.
it's a DM die now. Figure that one.
I gotta switch dice. Hold on. Going back to...
Something
one.
set underneath my desk real quick. Just to make my life a little bit easier.
Just a quick question. You said this was in the chat in Discord?
No, this is in the chat in the live stream.
Okay.
I can put it in the
also
Discord.
check Discord.
I can drop
I
it.
see it's also in the light stream. It's in the light stream, yes.
I'll also
Okay.
drop it in the Discord real quick.
Pretty good.
I almost wish I had negative modifiers just so it'd be 0 or lower.
Okay.
Almost.
Because for some reason I'm not seeing the chat in. Oh, hold on. Twitch. Brain. Yes.
Also, we'll get that done really fast. I just saw your side message piece.
Mm-hmm.
You run D8s, right?
10.
D10s. All right. We're gonna do real quick health on this person. Thought we got all that stuff sorted out really fast. All right, level 2. Yours or mine?
I'll take yours.
You got a 6.
Okay, that's up.
What'd you roll?
Okay. 4.
All right. Level 3. Yours or mine?
And that is. I'll take mine.
What'd you get?
8.
Okay. And level 4.
Another 8.
Are you taking yours?
Yep.
All right. And it is, of course, max for the first level.
Yep.
All right.
So
And
that's-
you got hit for 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better than average.
Yep.
And you missed a max out, but that's perfectly fine. But which one was maxed out, you'll never know.
Likely one of the 8s. So actually, it had to have been one of the 8s. Duh.
All right. So we've got the brutes up first.
Okay.
From just on the other side of the set of rocks. So looking down the road, you've got rocks to the left, some rocks to the right, hill area that's about, what did I say last time, about 120? What is the range on the spell that I used? No, sorry, they are 150 feet away from you. Rubber Boots, I'm sending you the spell that you saw hurl at the party, at the caravan that you were a part of.
Okay.
So, the grunts are moving in. If I'm correct, marching order would be like semi-staggered-ish. Some people on the left, some people on the right of the walkway instead of just straight line, because you guys are also in a cart.
Yeah, we have a cart and a wagon.
Yeah, so which is first, the cart or the wagon?
The
horse.
cart is the horse. The cart, then the wagon.
All right, so in the cart, I'm assuming is Azarath and at least one of the others, and then in the wagon is the rest of you. Who's in the cart with Azarath?
I probably would have been.
Okay, cool. So there are two grunts moving up. They are wearing chainmail, and they're carrying maces, and they rush up on the two of you. One of them is swinging at Wells first. I'm not even going to ask your armor class for that roll. And Azarath, the other one swings at you. You're wearing full plate, right?
I don't think so due to the recent events. I am not.
Why
I'm not
did you
wearing
get
armor
rid
at
of your
all.
armor? Isn't your armor free? Can't you get new armor? Can't you get it repainted later?
Well, according the way that went down is as my armor was stripped from me. So
Your parents would have enough. Your parents have enough fucking money that you are not going to be losing your armor class due to your fucking decisions, bud. I'm not going to
So-
strip your armor class of you.
Unadorned plate. Unadorned
The-
plate.
Yeah, you're wearing unadorned plate. You can get it adorned later. Need to bookmark this fucking book later.
Whoa! Can I take some pictures?
do I go ahead and equip it, or do I leave it there? Just now that I have added.
You have it equipped.
Oh, okay, that makes a huge difference.
All right. So they swing and miss horrifically, comically. Up next is our new person with scouts on deck. New player, give me a con save real quick.
Con save? Okay.
Yes.
That's. Oh, I have that at advantage. Do I or no? In this case,
Why would you have advantage originally?
coat.
No. It is the code only gives you pluses to survival in harsh conditions. This is
Okay.
a are you waking up from the ringing in your ears thing.
10.
10 total?
Yep.
I even set it low and you unfortunately disappointed.
I was not surprised.
So yeah, among the cart there is still an unconscious person. Next are the scouts. There are 3 of those fuckers that you're seeing. And they pop out semi between the caster and the grunts. And they all have short bows. And they're going to take pot shots at... We're going to start with Dionysus first. Because I'm guessing you're the one driving the cart? The wagon? Alright. It's a good thing I can read lips, because you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the wagon.
I'm pretty... what is your armor class again?
16.
Okay. I'm going to get everyone's armor class in here eventually, and just have it so that way I have all of those consistent. So I don't even have to ask anymore. But I'll get to those eventually. So yeah, he misses. Second shot is going at Sorka. Actually, you're inside the covered wagon, right?
Yeah.
Alright, second shot is going at Wells. Because the 3 of you are the currently visible ones. I'm guessing this doesn't hit, but what is your armor class, Wells?
17.
Yeah, no, this... Alright, and last shot is going at... Azarath. Ooh, maybe have to ask questions. Azarath, what is your armor class?
19.
Alright. Fucking short by 1. Like, you actually see the arrow coming in, and you're able to turn your head, and it just glances off of your shoulder. Like, you're able to turn a little bit, and it glances off your shoulder as it flies away. The others are just horrific shots. The highest of them I got was a 12? So, yeah. Alright. Dionysus, you are up. Wells, you are on deck.
Okay, so how far are the grunts from me?
The grunts are on the... are up at the cart. So it's wagon, and then cart, and there's one on either side.
Okay, so they're less than 60 feet away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are any of them wearing metal armor?
Yeah, they're wearing chainmail.
Yeah. So, I take the one on the left side of the cart, and I cast heat metal on it.
Cool.
On the chainmail, not on their sword, on their chainmail, so that they can't drop it.
Yeah, I get that.
No, chainmail is a
grunt 1 or grunt 2?
The one on the left.
All right, the one on the left is going to be grunt 1.
Okay. Yeah, and there's no save, so they take 2d8 damage, fire damage. That's 6 fire damage, and I am maintaining concentration on that.
Cool. When does it affect them next? On your turn or on their turn?
I use a bonus action to cause the damage again.
Okay, so it'll be on your turn that you can do it again.
Yep. And let's see. As a bonus action, I call out to Azarath. Azarath, kick their ass. Take a bardic inspiration. It's a D6. And that'll be my turn.
All right. Wells, you are up. Sorka, you are on deck.
Okay, so I've got one grunt in front of me, right?
Kind of front to the side. Which side of the cart are you on? The left or the right?
I would say the right.
Okay, so yeah, he's a little forward to the right of you.
Like, still within 5 feet, or do I have to move
Oh yeah,
up?
he's within melee range. He swung a mace at your head. Well, actually, it's like more like mid-torso.
Okay, yeah, then if that's the case, I'll go and attack him.
All right.
Oh, damn! It's too bad I hadn't done Hexblade's Curse before. I got, let's see, 27.
That rightfully hits.
Let's see. Ooh, 17 damage.
Ow.
Still up.
Still up.
Okay, attack again. 17 to hit.
17 does hit.
Oh, good. Let's see. 13 damage.
Another 13.
Yes.
He is barely standing.
God damn, jeez.
He looks very unwell right now.
Okay, and then let's see. Okay, yeah, that'll be it.
All right, Sorka, you are up. There, the enemy caster is on deck.
Okay. This person that I saw that was unconscious, are they within 60 feet of me?
They are within 60 feet of you.
Okay. I'm going to cast Healing Word. 6 points of healing.
That's more than enough to bring me back up to full. Thank you very much.
And you are also woken up.
What a wonderful way to wake up.
And then is the person that Wells was attacking within 60 feet of me as well?
Yes.
Ah, well, I would like to have them make an intelligence saving throw for me.
And I'd like you to not keep killing my my fucking people. You know what?
Okay, you leave about 1 hit point.
What's your DC? Pretty sure I make it. They got an 18.
Okay. I think this
If there's benefit for you, they've got a -1.
Oh, jeez.
I rolled a 19. I am sorry.
That's fine. I tried. Okay. And that is my turn.
All right, the enemy caster is up.
So now that I'm awake, am I aware of what's going on?
You are fairly aware. You do remember what happened just a second ago. You're also... Give me a... Wisdom check, you can use perception or if you'd
Definitely
like.
perception.
And you get advantage because you were there right when it happened.
God damn it. 14, even with advantage.
All right. I am hitting red consistently. All right, so with that 14, you do remember that there was a good number of people, and last you saw, there were 3 heavily armored people. And the caster was on the hill.
Okay.
As you are waking up, you do only currently see 2, but you're also on the side of the fairly destroyed cart that you see the cart and the wagon that are coming up. And there is a mostly smoldered cart behind you that's been flipped over.
Okay. So looking around, do I see anybody else from my crew?
We will get to that when it is back to your proper initiative.
Sounds good.
So that enemy caster is going to send out a spell. And they're going to shoot at D3 for the 3 that are visible. All right, Nazareth. Okay, thankful. You know what? These fit. These fit. Ah, they don't fucking fit. So you see a bolt of fire hurl past you and the cart, splashing on the rocks on the other side. And that is... he then moves some and looks to be out of sight of the rest of the party. Like, there's a rock that he has moved to behind. You know where he is, but he has put himself in cover.
How far away is he from me?
He moved up that range to be able to get to that rock at 120 feet away. There's also a dude in melee right next to you.
Okay, dude, I want to try something. Actually, is this guy hurt, and if so, how badly?
He looks a little hurt, and his armor looks extremely warm. It's glowing.
Primarily for experimentational purposes, I want since inflict wounds is a melee spell attack. Could I divine smite that on top of it, since it is melee?
I would say no.
Oh,
because that is
that'd be so.
that would mean that you'd be able to smite on a spell.
Fair enough.
So you'd
worth asking, though.
Yeah. Same reasoning on the I would not allow smite to be used on like shocking grasp, things like that. While I understand that it's right there, it
was worth asking for clarity.
Yeah, and your Azraith would know that is something that would not balance over. But you can use
So-
inflict wounds if you would like.
Would a 17 hit the creature, the person next to me?
Yes, it does.
I will go ahead and define smite, just so when I move, I don't get an attack of opportunity. Assuming I can kill them in one turn.
Wasted my heat metal.
Not necessarily.
And define smite gives me 2d8.
And I'm assuming that you're swinging with your sword.
Yes.
All right.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31 slashing damage. With radiant damage included.
Yeah, it's a waste of heat metal. As your sword just as you swing down onto him, it hits right into his shoulder, and then the smite just draws it in a little bit farther, and you're able to just kick him off of your sword, and he just falls to the ground limp. You are no longer in melee combat, and you have your full. It will take you a 5-foot movement to hop off, unless you want to make a athletics or acrobatics check jumping off to try and keep your movement at its full range.
I would like to cast Shield of Faith on the one who was down for the count for the beginning of this, just to make sure that they are safe.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. You see a shield just over you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
That gives you a +2 to your armor class for sheet purposes.
Yep.
And then I'm going to move my full 25 movement. That's minusing the 5 already.
All right.
To get towards the caster.
All right. Just as a note, between you and the caster, there are 3 archers.
How close am I to the archers? Just for reference point, for future reference.
Moving
the full
the
25 feet.
25 feet, you are roughly. You're still another 35 away.
Okay. That's my turn.
All right. As Wraith is done, so grunts are up, and then our newly awoken person. The grunt that was swinging at Wells is going to swing again. And will rightly hit.
Damn.
And where is it? No, I saw maces on here. I think a mace is just a club at this point. Nope, there's maces. Thanks to your position on the cart, though he's able to hit you squarely in the on the side, it only does 4 points of damage.
Wow. Okay.
Our awakening person, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Yep, and also unmute.
Dex saving throw. Okay. Natural 20 plus 6.
All right. So the cart, the burning cart that you're right next to, starts to tip forward, and you're able to roll out of the way as it slams down. And there is another grunt that just shoulder checked into it. And he's going to make his movement over towards where you're laying down, but he spent his action knocking over the cart.
Okay.
And that is his turn. You are up.
I am up. Okay. So I noticed that we got hit by flame from a distance. I'm guessing a spell.
Yes, you...
Did I see the caster move behind the rock?
Not recently, but you were able to see the caster originally sitting up on the hilltop area, kind of calling out to the others.
Okay. Is the caster under less than full cover?
Not currently. You physically cannot see him at this moment, but there's only a handful of places that he could have been.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do, casting Hail of Thorns and shooting at the middle archer.
All right. Are you going to be standing up throwing it? You were originally prone.
Standing up takes half my movement, right?
Correct.
Yeah, sure.
All right. And out of curiosity, do you have a feat or feature that makes it that way you do not have to suffer disadvantage for being in melee combat? Because that one grunt did move up next to you.
Oh, he did move up next to me.
Yes. He just wasn't able to swing at you.
Isn't the disadvantage, because this is 5e, the disadvantage is only if you're shooting at someone who's in melee with you.
No, it's imposed by melee as well.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Instead
Same
of
thing
it
with
being
casting.
a attack of opportunity for shooting from melee combat.
Okay, so that means that... okay, so then I'm not going to be casting that spell if I've got somebody right there beside me.
No problem, no problem.
Dum-dum-dum. I will then cast Hunter's Mark on Numbnuts beside me and pull out one of my scimitars and attack.
All right, swing away.
12 plus 6, 18.
18 hits.
Okay, so that's 2d6 plus 4. 11 points of damage.
All right.
And that's all I can do at the moment.
Do you not have a second scimitar?
I used my bonus action already.
Oh, right.
The
Get him
Hunter's Mark,
marked.
yeah.
All right. Scouts are up, and then Dionysus, you are on deck. Unfortunately, all three scouts are going to be going after the person getting close to them. Azraith, prepare for a hailstorm of arrows.
Bring it on!
Gladly. Unfortunately, that is only going to be one hit.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good. I thought all of them.
Thank you for your armor, by the way, and you're welcome.
Yes. Yes. I flipped a coin off screen. I was either going to give it to myself or to the one who was down.
And you take 4 damage as one of the arrows hits real hard into your shoulder, and then it does majorly bounce off, but the main impact does hurt a good bit.
See, that's adorable. Hellish Rebuke.
Nice.
Is there a save for that?
There is. Dexterity save.
Oh, goody goody. That's what they're good at. Does a 16 pass your...
It does, so half damage.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting to be using D10s today. Big mistake.
Always expecting Spanish Inquisition.
10, 20. So, reduced to half. 10 fire damage.
Max damage, lovely. All right. He is already not looking the best. And that is their turn. And Dionysus, you are up. Wells, you are on deck.
All right. So whichever scout looks the most hurt, I'm going to shoot my longbow at.
All right, that's the one that just got Hellish Rebuke.
Hellish Rebuke. So in the shadow of those flames, does a 19 hit?
Yes, it does.
Ooh. 11 points of damage.
Ow, he looks extremely injured now. He was just shy of bloody. He is looking very bad now.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be it. I'm just gonna stay on the wagon right now.
All right. Wells, you are up. Sorka, you are on deck.
Okay, how far am I from the archer that's bloody? That's really bad now.
The archer that's really bad is... It was 65 feet from you. Also, you do have someone still in melee range with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll attack the one still in front of me.
All right. He is looking very unwell, by the way.
18.
18 hits. You do also see another grunt a little bit in front of you, about 20 feet.
9 damage.
And you're using a longsword, correct?
Great sword.
Great sword! Great! As your great sword comes across the shoulder, it sinks directly downward. And you notice the thing that you have noticed many times before. As you pull the blade back, there's only blood on your sword. His injury is not bleeding as he falls to the ground, dead, extremely pale.
Okay, and then you said the archer is 65 feet away?
Yes, because you were on the opposite side of... They're to your left, and you were on the right side of the cart, and... like 60, 30, 65. Because they were 60 feet from Azraith, and you were on the other side of Azraith.
Okay, so if I was able to move 60 feet, will I be just shy of getting to them?
You'd be just shy of them.
Damn it. Because I've still got one more attack, right? Since I killed the guy in front of me with the first one.
Yes, if I'm correct, it's because of being the particular kind of class you are that you get the 2 attacks.
Yes.
Yeah. There is a dude in front of you, about 25 feet away.
Are they
Sorry,
like
15, 20 feet.
are they in the direction of the caster or back?
They're not in the direction of the caster, but they are next to the burning cart and the person that just stood up from said cart.
Are there any other archers closer to me?
There are
then
no other
the-
archers closer to you.
Like, are they within 30 feet, 60 feet?
I would say if you give me a acrobatics or athletics, your choice. You could. It's not going to be a very high check, but you could get up to them if you do pass the quick check. Essentially, you'd be running and jumping off of the cart on your way out.
Okay, oh, for fuck's sakes. 9 acrobatics.
Ow.
Luckily, on this particular check range, it's not a major pass, major fail. As you get off, you actually drop yourself straight down instead of springing forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you could get just shy of them. You could throw your sword into one of them and then move up and grab it next turn.
Well, when you say just shy, like, do you mean
You will
like
not be
if
able to be within melee range of them.
what if I use Misty Step and then moved? Would I be able to get in melee range?
Yes, you could.
Okay. Then yeah, first I'll use Misty Step to move up 30 feet towards them. And then after that, use my movement to get up to them.
All right.
And then so now I'm in melee range.
Yep, you are just in melee range, not with the one that's been hit already,
Mm-hmm.
but to the one just next to them.
Okay, and then I'll do my second attack on them.
All right.
Ugh, 15.
15 hits them.
Oh,
They have a lower armor than the grunts, but
and then 15 damage.
Nice.
Oh. He is already looking bloodied.
And then that'll be it.
All right, Sorka, you are up. The caster is on deck.
Okay, so there's somebody that's basically standing next to the person that I just got up,
Yep.
right? Yeah, that person is going to take some magic missile damage.
All right. Out of curiosity, what color are your missiles?
Like yellow, like the sun.
All right.
Okay, so first is 3 damage.
Still standing.
Second is 5 damage.
Still standing.
And the
Billy
third
Joel?
is 3 damage. Elton John.
Elton John, thank you.
All right. He is still standing, but he is well past bloodied.
Okay. And
I
that
turn and give you a
is my
nod
turn.
for the help.
Yep, I will like kind of salute at you and duck back down in the wagon.
All right, the caster's turn. They're going to pop out from behind the rock. Notice the absolute fuckery that's happening. And Winter, you are able to understand this person as they yell out in... Azraith is able to understand this person as they yell out in a language that no one else here understands. This is a wash. If you make it, rally later. And I'm going to need... What is the size on that particular spell? Radius. That is 40 feet across per diameter, correct?
Yep.
Cool.
Ow.
I'm going to need you and... Real quick, Dionysus, you're still on the cart, aren't you? On the wagon?
I'm on the wagon, yeah.
Alright, I need you, Storka, and our new person to all roll me a Dex saving throw.
Fuck you.
18.
Me too.
Nope. Oh,
Okay.
1 second.
18.
Dex save.
Dex save.
25.
Nice.
You said 25?
Yeah.
You see them pull out a few components. Oh. And our new player, you see flashbacks from just, less than 30 minutes ago.
So I'm guessing the grunt that's beside me is also going to be in said flamebow?
Yep. He failed.
I would like to say, you fucking bitch, don't you dare. And I use cutting words to make them minus a d6 from the damage, too.
So my metal one will be the minusing.
Fucking bitch.
Cool. So that takes out... and what did anyone have a saving throw above a 14? Sorry, 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Only the grunt takes full damage, and this is fucking shit.
I would like to say you just killed our fucking horses, too.
Where's Tala in all of this, out of curiosity?
In the cart.
You know what? You need to roll me a Dex save for Tala.
I need to keep my mouth shut more often. That's not one, boss.
Cool. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, DC... This is not going to be good.
Tala's dead. Our horses are dead. Our carts are fucked.
You have the ability to get this fire out quickly.
Can I expend my DM inspiration, the one I have, and have Tala re-roll that?
You can roll your DM. Yeah, you can use your DM inspiration.
What is their saving modifier?
+3.
+3. That is 22.
22.
Yes.
Paula is able to duck out of the way. And the one dude, who's already pretty freaking hurt, dies from the fire as he takes the full brunt, and the rest of you only take 5 damage. I rolled 11. If it wasn't for your fucking cutting words, it would have been a lot higher. I rolled shit. Absolute, unmitigated shit.
Oh my. Wait. So, hold on. We've got 4 horses.
They all survive with that.
I'm going to roll their deck saves. They get a
+2 if I remember
+0
correctly.
modifier. So, the first 2 horses fail. They die. Horses have... Oh, no. No, they don't. 11 points of damage, you said?
11 points of damage.
Horses have 13 hit points. The second 2, what's the DC on the save? 15?
DC 15.
All of our horses are at 2 HP.
Yeah, you also need to now roll me a wisdom saving throw on all 4 of them.
Oh, fuck. Well, at least those are not negative.
You do have you do not have disadvantage because you are also close together. And
Take the
what's the
inspiration
DC
you
on
gave
that
me.
wisdom save?
huh?
What's the DC on the wisdom save?
The DC on the wisdom save is going to be, I'm going to set it at 13.
Okay. Well, this is a 13 and a 17.
Okay.
So the horses on the card up front pass.
And Tala's able to like wrangle them in just enough. And
the horses on the wagon that I'm sitting on.
yep. That's why they don't have disadvantage, because there's
Both
people
fail.
They both fail?
Both fail. 3 and 8.
Cool. I'm going to need you to make a... I'll give you a handle animal check real quick.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, wait, I have expertise, so that's not going to be as bad. Animal handling.
The reins give you advantage. The fact that they're panicking gives you disadvantage. So it's a straight run.
Dirty 20.
They get to roll again. DC is now 10.
They still both fail. Double 9s.
Do you still take my inspiration that I offered? That you gave me?
Didn't you use the inspiration on...
I can't use the Bardic Inspiration. Nope.
Oh, you can't? I can't give it to you?
Nope. Bardic
Oh.
Inspiration. I can't use my own Bardic Inspiration other than for cutting words.
Darn.
Nope. No, the wagon goes out of control.
They start to pull away. Actually, I'm going to have them... What's the strength bonus of a horse? I believe it's like a +4, 5.
+4 for a draft horse, yes.
We've got riding horses. We didn't grab draft horses. We grabbed riding horses.
+3 then.
Yep.
All right, they're both essentially making a athletics run. Okay, only one of them is able to start breaking the... one of them is starting to actually like break away. The other one is not strong enough. Sorka, I'll give you the opportunity to make a animal handling check from within the cart.
Okay. I'm going to cast guidance on myself.
All right.
Like the gas master.
Okay.
So that's an 18.
18. All right. I will let you roll the animal's wisdom saves. You had advantage now. DC is still 10.
Okay.
What's their wisdom buff? Plus 0, I'm guessing?
Zero. Plus 0.
All right, so they both have advantage at least.
Want me to roll those again, or Sorka?
No, Sorka's rolling them this time.
Okay, first one was a 19
You're
on
able
the
to get
die.
that. Yeah, you're able to get that under control.
Second one was a 15 on the die.
You are able to get them both under control. The wagon's going to need a little bit of repairs, seeing as they were trying to separate away from themselves. But, aside from some mild charring, which makes it look a little bit fancier, it's details.
Hey,
Are
I'm a
we-
wood carver. I can help.
But you're able to get them under control. That is the caster's entire chaos of turn. As Wraith, you're
How
starting
far away
to
is this caster from me?
they are now. See, you move. They were 65 feet away from you. They are now 95 feet from you. After he cast Fireball, he turned and started moving. And you see the look in the faces of everyone else starting to turn like that sour look of like, oh shit, we have to run now. The muscle's down. Took 11 damage. Yeah, the other grunt that was next to you is also dead. So you are just a little bit away from one of the... You're like 5 feet from one of the archers. As a wraith. Like there's 5 feet in between the two of you. So you can move up and attack. Or you can go back and protect your squire.
I gotta roll for that. Hold on. I'm going to look this archer in the eyes. Today's your lucky day. And I'm going to go and I'm going to full on dash back to Tala.
All right. Tala's fur is a bit singed, but he's looking all right. But
The lay on hands is an action. I have to do that next time.
his
So that would be
one
my
health
turn.
level is still there, thankfully.
Oh, okay, okay.
He's looking singed, but he's also looking a bit wary. Is that your turn?
Yes.
All right. There are no more grunts.
I
Alright.
said that in the exact same language that they used, but that the caster used for
All right.
reference.
By the way, that is Uroset.
Mm-hmm.
And they look like they've been living in Hordun for a while. Like the clothes that they're wearing is like that Greek like Greek robes, stuff like that. They've been in the Blue Rose for a little while. Our new character. I'll drop your name once you give your name.
Yep, no worries.
You
Okay.
are up. There is no one living next to you, which is both helpful and depressing.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be dropping the hunter's mark. I'm going with ensnaring strike and going after the caster with my longbow.
All right.
He's not getting away. And does an 18 hit.
And 18 hits.
Okay. Let's see if he survives this. Because it's 1d10 plus 1d10 plus level for the... Oh, sorry. 1d6 plus 1d6 for the... And another d6.
Better put some long sleeves on. This is going to hurt.
Yeah, 14 points of damage plus 4, is it? Give me a second. 14 plus 4. Yep. So 18 points of damage, and he needs to make a strength save to get out of it. If not, 2 more d6 on his turn.
All right. Strength save from him real quick.
Well, that's on his turn. He's ensnared.
Ah. Darn it. So that was him.
That was him, so he
But-
got hurt again?
Sorry, no. That was you. So scouts are up next.
Okay.
The 3 scouts are going to... They're just going to turn and run. Wells, you get an attack of opportunity.
Nice. Let's see. Ugh, damn. 12?
You were swinging at the caster, that would have been something. But unfortunately, you miss. As these 3 fairly lightly armored archers just turn and run their full 60 feet. Dionysus. You
So
are
how
up.
far am I from the caster right now?
He moved 30 feet back, so he is back to 150.
Oh, perfect. I don't have to jump off the cart. I shoot my longbow at the caster as well.
I hope he survives, because we need to question him.
The caster's not getting away.
13.
Oh, it's
13 hits.
not so much that he's not getting away. It's I want to question the bugger. He just hit me
No.
with 2 frickin' fireballs.
Now, whether the caster's alive or not by the end of this, that's questionable.
11 points of damage.
I have a question for the rest of the party. Are you all going to be chasing after the archers, or are you going to... Because the archers are going to be sprinting on their turn.
Easy targets.
Can always mount a horse if need be.
Now, they're going to the rocky crags and hills. Chasing after them on horse is going to slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't need to chase them. I can do it from
I'm
here.
not really concerned with the archers. That we're taking out their leader. I don't think they're going to bother us.
How's this going down?
I will, since I can continue shooting at them.
Well,
Oh,
If you're,
Well,
you can take pot shots if you want. They're probably going to get away.
But for me, I'm pissed. Like, the horses start running. I'm failing. Sorka comes up and starts reining them in, and I just kind of balance myself, standing up on the seat of the wagon, and I watch as Vines grab this caster when an arrow hits him, and I just loose mine right behind it. So as soon as he's stuck, mine enters his lower back and just severs the spinal column.
So, were you going for a non-lethal strike, I'm guessing?
I'm hoping he's paralyzed, and I hope we can question him. But yeah, I was shooting for the small of his back.
Give me a high or low. You tell me what die you're using, and then tell me what you rolled.
We are going to use D20 and odds and evens. So I'm going to say even. I'm going for even.
All right.
Fuck. 3.
As you loose the arrow, aiming for his lower back, it actually punctures in right at his, like, to the side of his spine, going through the kidneys, through his abdomen, and his struggling stops as he falls to the ground, bleeding out.
I want to question him.
Okay. So have the archers gone fully away or not quite yet? On their next...
They're currently 60 feet away from the party. Next turn, they're going to be 120, and they're going to keep sprinting.
Okay, so right now they're currently 60 feet.
Yes.
Okay, and then... Let me...
It is your turn if you want to keep this going.
Yeah, because I'm still... Okay, one thing to clarify, apologize, but regarding the 2 attacks, actually, apparently that's something I can't do until next level when I get us to an invocation. I thought my character was at 5th level, not 4th level.
That does happen.
So, yeah, sorry about that. He should have only been attacking once, not twice. So...
It doesn't actually change that much right now.
It doesn't change that much right now.
But yeah, with how you said, so the archer that I hit before is 60 feet from me?
That is correct.
Okay, getting used last spell slot to cast Misty Step again. So that's 30 feet, and then use the rest of my movement 30 feet to get up to him. And then attack.
All right, roll your attack.
22?
That hits.
15 damage.
So as you Misty Step up to him, I actually imagine you running first, and then Misty Stepping, and then right as you finish solidifying, you plunge your blade forward, and it goes straight through this person's back, through their lung, and they are impaled momentarily before their momentum and yours drops them down. Again, they're not bleeding out. He's dead, and your sword is bloody for the next couple moments.
Okay, and then... Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Anybody else going to do anything between now and my turn?
Sorga?
Realistically, would I have enough?
It would be Sorka next, right?
Yep, Sorka is next.
And you said that. Okay, let me ask this question. Is the magic user like dead?
The magic user is technically on death saving throws.
Okay.
Currently, they
And
are
he's 150 feet away right now, right?
correct.
Okay, I'm gonna like dash towards him. So I'll be able to do 55 feet because I have to get off the.
If you make a athletics or acrobatics, you can attempt to lower that.
Yeah, I'll just do the 55. Thanks.
Academically inclined, are we?
A little bit more, yeah. Like, I mean, I have decent decks, but I'm not going to trust it in this situation. I'd rather like err on the side of caution, and just start to get closer. And then when I'm within 60 feet, I'll throw a healing word in. So I'm just going to kind of like start running like towards him. That'll get me within 100 feet. Well, 95 feet, I guess. And then I'll just like on my next turn, I'll probably be within range to like get him up enough that we can talk to him.
All right. Question: are you going to be keeping concentration on your spell? You can drop concentration as a reaction at any point.
Yeah, because if he wakes up, startles, he's just going to get hit again by the damage.
Also, he's going to get hit with damage while down.
That is true. So once I see somebody going to revive him, yeah, drop the spell.
So you're dropping the spell on him?
Yeah.
All right. Azerath,
Yes.
you're up.
Since originally I was going to ask realistically would I have enough time to go over there, but since someone else is already doing that, who looks the worst in the party? Like who has been hit the most?
That would be a point between the person that you don't know yet and Dionysus for the people that are closest to you.
I don't look that hurt. Our horses look much worse.
Yes, your horses do look rightly fucked, though.
Okay, how much horses you said have 13 hit points and only currently have 2?
Yeah.
The horses look rightly fucked. They are very bloodied.
I'm going to dump 11 of my lay on hands onto one of them.
That heals up that horse completely. Okay, is that your turn?
Yes.
All right. New player.
Okay.
You're 150 feet away from the caster.
I see somebody going in that direction, so I'm figuring they're going to do something. How far are the archers from me?
They are 120 and moving away.
Okay. So I'll move up 30 and shoot one of them.
All right.
I'm going to guess a 26 hits.
Yes, I'm guessing you're shooting the injured one of the 2 living.
And that is
what is
9 points.
9? I'm guessing you're going for a lethal strike.
Yes.
You move up. You move up your distance. Draw your bow. Fire. The arrows whistles across and hits them square in the back, and they immediately just go limp and hit the ground, bleeding out.
Everybody sees my determined march that way, and that was not a difficult shot for me at all. So I'm going to follow them walking and shooting my arrows at them.
The next archer is, it is up to the last archer. He is sprinting 60 feet.
Fine by me. I don't care.
And he's,
Until they...
he's starting to get into the more rocky areas a bit farther up. And as he gets farther away, he's starting to, like, weave in around rocks, trying to keep...
As long as he doesn't have full cover, I keep shooting.
Dionysus, are you doing anything?
I look over at this new person and I go, well, if you're not planning on letting them get away, good. Take a bardic inspiration.
Yeah, I'm just a little pissed.
Yeah. So you've got bardic inspiration just in case for one of those shots. Because there's only one archer left, right?
There's only one person left of the original party that you fought.
And then I'm going to kind of look at Azarath and Tala and go, watch the horses. And I'm going to start sprinting towards the caster. So I'm going to probably overtake Sorka a little bit and move. Well, I'll probably be able to move right up by Sorka.
If you want to make your athletics or acrobatics, you can pass her by 5 feet.
Okay. Just because I don't want her over there by herself. 15?
15 makes it.
Cool. Yeah, so I move. So I start moving towards the caster.
All right.
So I'm at 90 feet currently.
Wells, are you doing anything?
Let's see. You said the archer's like at least 120 away, or
Yeah, they're
more
about
than
120 feet away now. Oh, sorry. No, that one, the one that's sprinting away from you now, is only 60 feet from you. Remember, you kept on chasing him.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm all out of spell slots, so I can't do Misty Step again. But
No, but you could do your tried and true. Warlock, say the thing. Go ahead, say it. You know you want to.
Well, question: How far am I from like where the caster and Sorka and Dionysus are?
Sorka and Dionysus are... They're a good bit behind you, but you are about 30 feet from the caster.
Oh, okay. And the caster's still alive, right?
To the best of your knowledge, they have not fully left this world. They are bleeding out.
Hmm.
I'm not telling you how many passes or fails they have, but the fact that the grasp was dropped, there's vines laying on them. They're not, like, constricting.
Okay. Okay. I'll go over to the caster then. And then, let's see. Okay. I'm gonna take the sword and dig into the ground right beside the caster's head and be like, tell us what you know.
Caster's not moving.
Oh.
Currently, they're on death saving throws.
Good effect, but...
Good effects, but they are on death saving throws.
You made it seem like they were alive!
Oh,
I'm saying they haven't. I'm saying they're not fully dead. There is a difference. They're on death saving throws.
You're unconscious but bleeding out. You're alive but dying.
Yes. So by technicality, yes, he is alive.
You could try a medicine check.
Uh,
Okay. We'll say no. Well, a medicine check, as long as you don't roll a 1, you're not making his situation worse.
And it is a skill, so you can't truly fail.
okay, well, attempted. Oh. 3?
Ow!
3, so...
I mean, at least it's not a natural one.
Yeah, with that 3, is that total?
Yeah, I don't have any bonus to medicine, so it's just straight 3.
Ow, ow.
So luckily you're not making him roll at a disadvantage immediately, but he doesn't get a roll again yet. Sorka.
I'm gonna keep. So if I move up another 30 feet,
You move up
I'm
another
within
30 feet.
60.
You would be able to be within 60, yes.
Okay, then I will throw a healing word in, since I know that one of our people is right next to him and can contain him if he tries to. So that's 8.
Damn.
Well, as you see, you hear the healing words pass by you, like physically hear them pass by you, and the caster just coughs and spits out some blood. Laying at your feet. And his eyes open.
And yeah, once his eyes opens, he'll see the sword right next to his head and me over him.
Yeah, he's currently not moving. Like, he's choosing to not move around. Like, he's just laying there. As a wraith.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything for your turn?
The horse that would it take an action to get on top of a horse?
Yes. It would also take an action to unhitch them from the wagon.
The one that broke away.
None of them broke.
Oh, okay.
One was breaking, but none of them properly broke. If they'd both run past their strength checks, they would have broken away.
Alright, then in that case, I will dump the last 9 of my lay on hand on the other horse that is badly hurt.
Okay, so
Well,
2 of them
all
are
4
looking
of
better.
them are badly hurt.
All 4 of the horses are badly hurt.
But you
One
killed
of
the
them
one
will be
with
less
cart.
badly hurt.
The cart horses are nice and healed. The wagon horses still need some work.
I can take care of them when all this is done.
Yeah.
All right, that is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Our new player.
Okay. I want this guy dead. So,
His armor class is
Longbow.
up a little bit higher than it normally would be. He's got some cover.
I ignore all cover except full cover.
Okay. Screw you.
I am also going to be taking my sharpshooter bonus. So that's a -5 to my attack roll and a +10 to my damage.
Can I give you the inspiration that I have? So
We
it's not-
already have some.
I already have inspiration. If I
Okay.
need
Also,
it.
you cannot give inspiration that has been given to you. Bardic inspiration can only be handed to you. You cannot hand bardic inspiration back out unless you're a bard yourself.
So 17 to hit.
17
that enough?
hits.
17 hits. Ooh.
This is the one that has not been hurt yet.
So that's D8 plus 14. So that's 21 points of damage.
While he is very hurt, he is not dead yet.
Okay, so how much is the Bardic Inspiration? It's a
D6.
D6? D6. Do I take it now or do I use it next round? You know what? I'm going to wait for next round just in case.
And I do believe that Bardic Inspiration is only on the to-hit rolls, correct?
Unless it's a spell. Tasha's allows you to add it to the damage of... Hold on. Tasha's allows you to add to the damage of spells or the hit points regained from healing spells, too.
Okay.
But it's to hit ability check. Oh, hold on. Yeah, ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
So basically, anytime I use a D20.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will definitely say keep that one for next round. This guy's not getting away.
Dionysus.
Okay, so I'm 90 feet away from the caster, right? How far am I from the archer?
The archer sprinted another... Oh, the archer does continue moving on his turn, another 60 feet. So... you should be able to still hit him with your longbow.
Well, I mean, I guarantee I can take a shot at him with my longbow. I just don't know if I have disadvantage or not.
You're probably going to have disadvantage. What is the standard range of your...
Standard is 150. Long range is 600.
But he's undercover as well.
Which just adds to AC.
Yeah. So he is going to impose disadvantage for his distance. Not by much.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just gonna take a quick shot because I want to. Oh no. I rolled a 7 and an 8, so that's a 12.
Unfortunately, that doesn't even hit his original armor class. And your arrow flies out and hinks off of a rock that he...
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna move 30 feet closer to the caster.
All right. Wells, are you going to be doing anything aside from the starting of interrogation?
Yeah, kind of. As soon as he sees that the caster is alive now, like, yeah, definitely gonna start it by grabbing a hold of the caster's hair and pulling it up, and then question.
All right.
What happens if he's bald?
With the fact that you are going after him for interrogation range, we'll do that at the after combat.
Okay.
Sorka. Aside from moving towards the caster, are you doing anything else?
You know, I see. So this guy is how far away from me now? The one that that last archer.
He's about
180.
Yeah, about 180 feet.
Okay, yeah, not worth it. Now I'll just move towards the guy so that we have as many of us as possible. Like,
are any of us besides Boots doing anything?
Yeah, aside from Boots so shooting at that last dude, is anyone else doing anything aside from either moving towards the caster or tending to the horses?
I'm not.
Nope.
Okay, so Boots, you have one last shot before he's going to be disappearing from your LOS.
Okay. I am going to use that bardic inspiration. Okay. That is a 14.
Just meets.
Good thing I didn't use my feet then.
Yeah.
6 points of damage.
As the last arrow goes whirling out, he ducks just behind a rock, and you're able to predict his movements. And as he comes out to the other side, the arrow plunges through his shoulder. He spins around and drops to the dirt.
Yes!
All right, I'm going to call break right now.
Yeah.
Get a little bit early in. Let's say 10 minutes. Sound good? So we'll be
Sounds
back
good.
up at
Sounds good.
52 past the hour. All right.
Irrigation, my favorite part.
See you guys here in a short bit. And we are back. Took a little bit longer than would have normally been, but that's perfectly fine.
You sit down here.
All right. So, all of the people from this bandit party are dead except for the caster, which you have made sure to keep alive.
I want to know why he killed my friends.
That was easy, Mark.
Oh yeah.
Road.
Oh, that's it? Kill him.
Oh. Yeah, well, yeah, with my hand still holding onto its head, I'd be like, tell us what you know, or we will kill you.
Are you just a simple bandit?
Make money where I can.
Where's your
Oh.
stash?
Good call. Good call.
Which one?
All
of
of
them.
them.
How about you just follow the road till you get to the crevice and kiss my ass.
Oh, well, how about this? And I remove one of his boots. And I take out my dagger. And I chop off one of his toes. And I go, I'll keep removing them until you start cooperating.
Oh yeah, and Wells would be, instead of having the sword next to his head, he would have the sword position like
No. Well, I mean, keep your sword ready, but we'll see how much pain he can endure.
I've got 10 spare manacles.
That gives me ideas. Thank you.
As much as this hurts, you're gonna kill me anyways. So,
Well,
how's this? I will die in pieces, and you won't find shit.
Unfortunately, he's fairly accurate in his prediction. So, why waste time over him? Just remove his head.
well,
I'm not like people should pay for their crimes, but torture is a little much.
oh, well, okay. How about you go wait by the horses then?
Very well.
I'm good with that.
As a wraith, will the paladin be? Is the paladin okay with torture?
The paladin is okay with torture.
All right.
Well, you seem to be making new decisions each and every day. Go fetch me the manacles, please.
How many do you want?
Just one set is fine.
No. Climb
Once
into
I
the
get back
cart.
to the horses, I touch the last two that are there that have been burnt badly, and give them 2 hit points each.
All right.
And when I get back there, I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes. And whoever happens to be close to me that needs healing, that's within 30 feet of that, can benefit from it when I finish it up. So you have 10 minutes to get your butts back over by me.
Wells, would you mind going and assisting the others? I'll keep an eye on this gentleman.
All right.
So you're all leaving Dionysus alone with the caster?
No, I'm with Dionysus. I'm with Dionysus all the way.
What you're about to hear stays between us, Azarath. Honestly, I think, and I turn to the caster and I go, honestly, I kind of respect your gumption and taking the opportunity, but you see, you made a mistake and you happened to do it in front of the party I was traveling. And you left one of them alive, who happens to be a pretty respectable fighter from what it appears. Normally, I would offer you a job. Instead, you're going to tell me where one of your caches is, and I'm going to make it appear that I killed you. You might still end up dying, but I'll leave the chances up to you. But I will be stripping you of all of your items in either case. It's up to your will or not whether or not you live. But you can roll the dice because, honestly, I run in certain circles, but you made mistakes. I would normally offer you a job. You seem pretty skilled, but again, you fucked with people I care about. And you damn near killed my horses, so I'm pretty pissed about that.
An hour's journey to the west. Find the rock that's been thoroughly burned. There's a small cache under there. Don't know if the other crew grabbed it or not. After that, I don't care. Just make it quick.
Most excellent. Azarath, care to do the honors?
I'll just pull out my greatsword. Quick and painless.
And
I lied. I wasn't going to leave you alive.
And you kill him. Quick execution.
And then I just turn to Azarath and go, sometimes you have to persuade them a little bit.
I'll take a note of that for next time.
Pain really, people are able to ignore pain. They think there's some honor or dignity in holding their tongue. But if you give them a little bit of hope. But there's no way I'd leave an enemy at our backs. No, he would come back and he would try and fucking stab us in our sleep. No way. Don't torture unnecessarily. but persuasion will get you everywhere.
Everything here stays between us, of course,
All right.
as well.
Would you mind going and fetching that body that our new friend left up in the hills? Though I'll start dragging this one back.
All right. Oh, mosey on over.
All right. Yeah, you're able to find it.
Anybody that's near me, by the time that 10 minutes is up, gets 13 healing, including the horses.
All right, the horses are all back to full.
As am I, thank you. And also, thank you for coming to my rescue. That was a very unfortunate attack by those bandits. My name is Justice.
Dionysus, at your service. Though my friends call me Dio or Dion.
Or other things.
Or Sorka calls me asshole, but
I'm sure it was well deserved.
oh, most definitely.
It's very nice to meet you, Justice. I am glad that at least you survived.
So am I. So am I.
So, what were you? Sorry about your entire group being dead. What were y'all doing out here?
We were heading to the Unclaimed lands to make our fortune.
Oh, did you have product, or were you just hoping to stake some claim there?
Staking the claim.
It happens that we have a rightful claim over that, so maybe we can find a use for you.
A rightful claim. I did not realize that Unclaimed lands had someone to give a claim to.
It's not like they're unpopulated. The people there came to an agreement with us.
Ah. Well, it's good to know that my trip was not going to be in vain. Because, well, going with them, that would have made things a little bit more challenging.
Well, no, if you prove useful, we might find an excellent position for you.
Oh, useful I am.
But you are handy with a bow.
Very.
Shall we go through the corpses of these bandits?
Yes. Yes, let's make sure that no other miscreants profit from this.
All right, does anyone want to give me investigations?
21.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
Which means I rolled a 19.
Yeah, I got a nat 1 for 2.
12.
25.
Amaya, you found a rock.
Yeah, I think Wells it's still thinking about earlier and a little distracted.
Yeah.
All right. So, among the bodies, here is the list whenever anyone is ready to start writing down.
Go for it.
3 suits of chainmail, size for average AMAB bodies. 3 maces, 3 longbows, 3 quivers, 15 arrows apiece, 3 suits of studded leather, a spell component pouch, a pair of dusty red robes,
Yeah.
a short sword, 4 daggers, 1 now fairly bloodstained spellbook, a very nice amulet with a necklace, a cord going through the middle of a camera in front of Winter,
Hmm.
17 copper, 7 silver, 4 gold.
Okay.
That is what they had on them. That is
Okay.
combined from everyone.
Hmm.
And you said 4 short swords?
1 short
just-
sword, 4 daggers. The short sword was on the hip of the caster. It's a fairly nice looking short sword. It is very similar to the forgetting the name of the style of sword. It's the ones that most Spartans and it's that short sword with the like partial guard. What is the name of that freaking sword?
What, a gladius?
Yeah, the
Or-
gladius. Is that the gladius?
No, Gladius is more Roman, so that would be significantly later on.
Oh, the Spartans had. Fuck, what was that?
It was like the Xiphos or something. Like
Okay.
I think that was it. Maybe Xiphos.
In any case,
Or was it the Copus? I don't remember. Is it Xiphos or Copus?
Xiphos.
Xiphos.
I pop a quick detect magic.
It is glowing magical.
The amulet.
The amulet glows, and so does the sword.
Okay. Cool. I tell them to set them aside to identify. He did tell me that there was a cache that might still be there an hour to the west. Do we want to deviate from our route to go check it out?
I would definitely be. Again, this is we have to make sure that no miscreants get any resources that could encourage them to continue their dastardly ways.
Well, perfect. So
That and it helps us.
it could, yes. No guarantees that it's there, but I mean, we've got a long journey ahead of us anyway with a couple extra hours.
That's exactly it.
But first, so our horses are healed. My wagon needs a little bit of repairs, and I go over to it. How big is the crack in the arm for where the horses are?
It's pretty significant. You're pretty sure of that. If the other horse was had tried, both horses would have snapped that. One more hard pull, and it is
It's less than a foot, though, right?
less than a foot.
Less than a foot? Cool. I just put my hands on either side of it and start casting mending.
All right.
Oh shit, the top. Hey, Justice.
Yes.
Do you mind helping me out a bit? If you go in the wagon, in the storage underneath one of the benches, there's an extra tarp. Could you pull that out?
An extra, sorry.
A tarp for the top of my wagon.
Yes.
The other one's burned. It may as well just be turned into bandages at this point.
Sounds good. Fair. So I go and search for the top, for the large piece of canvas.
Yep, you're able to find it pretty easily.
Okay. So then I take off the other one. I'll get to it later, but I'll take off the other one and start putting on this one.
All right. It takes you, with assistance, it takes you about an hour to get everything sorted out.
Okay.
Better than moving with damaged.
Oh, that just
Wagon.
screams target.
Yeah. Is there anything salvageable from the caravan that was ambushed?
It took a full-on fireball. I am highly suspect. I would not suspect anything survived. I'm surprised I survived myself.
You were kind of sitting on the back end of the actual wagon itself.
Mm-hmm.
And when it got hit, you were flung forward. So, away from it.
Yeah. So, now, that being said, what condition are the bodies in, GM?
The other bodies are pretty crispy.
So, in other words, we don't have to worry too much about rot. How much of the area around us has loose rocks, as in to make a cairn for the various bodies?
You're pretty sure that you could manage that relatively easily.
Okay. So, yes, then the only thing that I would like to do is for my compatriots is actually, okay, at the very least, give them a half decent burial. They should meet the afterlife properly.
All right. You're able to perform
If
that.
I had 25 gold pieces worth of powdered silver, I could give them a full proper burial.
You need how much of powdered silver? No, I do not have powdered silver on me, unfortunately.
I have plenty of silver, but not any means to powder it. Sorry. A cairn should be good enough. We'll assist you with that.
Much appreciated.
So you are able to do a send-off. It's not a very fancy one, but it is reasonable.
Yes.
And I'll say a blessing that like a wartime blessing that I learned from my father or something, like over the burials.
All right.
That is much appreciated. Thank you. They died a needless death.
Shall we see if we can't find one of these assholes' caches to at least make it somewhat worthwhile?
As I said, I am very willing to go do some side exploration just to make sure.
All right.
Are the rest of you good with that?
What's
Yes.
one more adventure?
This is minor compared to the other adventure we're on, Sorka.
I'll give you that.
Should I stay with the carts?
They really can't come with very well, can they? Let's move them behind this copse of trees, and then yes, Tala.
Well, there's no trees in the area, unfortunately.
There's no trees?
Nope. This is a rocky, crag-filled hills area.
So we're going to be we would be leaving the cart and wagon to do this. Is there a way of getting both of them behind some of the rocks so that they are not visible from the road?
It is possible, but you have a chance of getting them stuck in the process. Stuck or broken. You can do it. It's just...
How about... What time of day is it at this point? After we've kind of repaired everything and...
After repairing everything, it's becoming late afternoon, getting close to evening.
Maybe we should do what we should never do. Split the
Split
party.
the party.
I was gonna say, what race are you, Justice?
At the moment,
Do you appear human or elven? Or...
I appear human.
Okay.
Although my skin color is definitely not human. Skin color is more of a dark, smoky gold. You notice my eyes are a dark orange red. And what hair you do see is like a pewter color.
You are a curious looking sort. Do you require much sleep?
I require the regular amount of sleep, unfortunately.
Well, how about two of us go scouting out this potential cache while the rest of you stay with the caravan and just guard it?
I am more than willing to help with this. Being a hunter, I am quite able to keep a low profile where needed.
Do you want me or Azarath to go with you? Or Wells?
I would prefer somebody equally stealthy.
That would work.
Well, yes, I look at Azarath. You're solid metal. You can't stealth to save your soul.
I am a fair hand at being stealthy.
Then I think it might be best if the two of us were to go and verify that if this dead individual was actually telling the truth.
Before we take off, though, let me just check these things then real quick. If we can't bring the carts, continue about any preparations you need, and I'll spend 20 minutes identifying the amulet and the sword real quick.
The sword is just a +1 short sword. And the amulet... I had that up a second ago, then I closed it. So just 1 second. Which one was that? The amulet looks to be a... Amulet of Protection.
Oh, okay. Oliver, put that away.
What am I putting away?
Oh, sorry. You pulled up the water card.
No, don't worry. I looked. Oh, you're looking away from the screen. You realize I'm going to bug you with that every time you do.
Oh yeah, it's fine. Amulet of Protection. Let me see real quick.
Let's go in my thing.
Is that like? Is it similar to bracers of defense, or?
It is similar to a cloak of protection.
Okay, so bonus AC and saves.
Yeah, +1 to armor class and saving throws.
Oh.
So we've got ridiculous AC with likely not the best of saves versus others that may not have the best AC and likely have ridiculous saves.
How squishy are you, Sorka?
About a 12 squishy?
About a 12 squishy.
Is that with your cloak? Oh, with that, is that with your coat?
I believe so.
So no armor there. Okay. And not the best of saves likely either.
And I saw that Winter sent up a hand raise.
Yeah, that was an accident. I was trying to unmute myself and I clicked a hand raise instead.
That happens.
I would think it would be best for our squishiest to have a little bit more chance of survival.
I need it the least of all.
Yeah. Sorka, this would probably be most useful to you. That wizard, or whatever he was, had this amulet for a little bit of extra protection, but you could probably use that.
Okay. I won't argue. I'm pretty easy to hit.
No, excuse me.
As a completely off-range note, Boost, I think we are hearing your breath. And we're hearing someone's breath. Yep.
Okay, that was me.
It's not by much.
Yeah, no, I pulled the mic away from my
Yep.
my mouse and nose. Mouse and nose.
Mouse and nose. All right. Well then, we're gonna set off and see if we can't bring back any extra supplies for the caravan here.
I'm ready when you are.
Right. Give me a... Actually, because you're doing a tracking base, is that correct?
That is correct.
You are the only one of the party that is able to pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
So, give me that tracking.
So that's tracking, that's under survival or
That is correct.
Survival.
Survival.
Okay.
Can I give assistance on that?
Yes, you can.
And assistance does what again?
Advantage.
Advantage. Okay. Well, your assistance did not help all that much. My second roll was a 1, so 17.
17. It takes you a bit longer than originally mentioned, but you do find the
aforementioned cache?
Yeah, the aforementioned stone that was crisped. Is only really burnt on one side.
Almost like a fireball impact?
Actually, it looks more like a scorching ray.
Okay.
Or firebolt.
Yeah, so something that a caster would have done, yes. That
Approach stealthily and look for traps.
yes, most definitely. My
Those
stealth
investigations.
Stealth, I've got a 26.
You're feeling pretty stealthy.
and I've got a 16.
You're feeling pretty stealthy.
Investigation.
Investigation. Yeah.
18 on investigation.
That's you. I saw a rock.
That's already pre-burned.
Yes.
18. You do see that there is the edge of some runes just underneath the rock.
Oh, magic traps. Even better. Underneath a rock.
Just barely underneath the rock that you're heading towards.
Can I look around the area to see if it looks like anyone has been nearby within the last couple hours?
You can. You weren't as adept at that kind of thing as, say, a
I
ranger.
can.
Yeah.
Let's see if anyone's nearby real quick.
16.
16. You're pretty sure the last people that were in this area were probably a good 4 or 5 hours away.
Okay, so nothing too recent, but it is very possible somebody has been here since the cache was placed.
Cool. Well, I'm going to detect magic again real quick.
The magic is only able to ping the stuff that you're able to see, and you are able to see that the runes are the edge of a spell.
Would it be abjuration or what's
It
cool about it?
is evocation.
Evocation. Even better. How, like, is there a rock placed over the runes, or are they just written on the ground, kind of?
They're written on the ground, and they go underneath the stone that you're pretty sure you need to move to be able to get to the cache.
I cast knock on them.
On the runes?
Yeah.
Remind me what that spell does?
You mean explosive or knock?
Yeah, knock.
Knock. I'm just seeing if this has an effect. Choose an object that you can see within range, that has a mundane or magical lock on it, or means to prevent access. If it's held by mundane lock, it automatically becomes unlocked or unstuck or unbarred.
Yeah, no, knock is not going to work in this case.
Yep, no.
Yeah, but if it's magical, it suppresses arcane locks or anything.
Yeah, arcane. But again, look, this is not preventing us from opening it.
Yeah, I would just be curious if it does something to suppress wards temporarily.
Unfortunately, no.
So basically, this bastard wanted to make sure we got fried when we went after his cache. That no one but him could actually get at it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the cache is going to blow up if we move that rock.
How big is the rock?
It's a good 6 feet tall, a little bit more.
Okay. And roughly same around?
It is taller than it is wider.
What about getting at the cache from underneath?
It is a very stony area. You can try digging it out, but it's going to take you a while.
Well, I've got a couple of shovels.
You're going to need pickaxes.
Ah,
Like, the
You
shovels will
Um,
help you, but it's only like taking a couple minutes off.
But between my forgery kit and my thieves' tools, if I make an Arcana check, can I see if I could disable the runes without setting them off?
You can try.
my biggest issue is it just going to damage us, or is it going to also damage the cache itself?
Well, I'm not going to fuck with the runes unless I feel confident that I could turn them off without setting them off. I want to inspect them a little closer. I would suggest standing back though, just in case.
Well, yeah, because I'm looking at it now.
No, that would be abjuration on that one. What is...
How would we move the rock anyways? This is not exactly a large rock, small rock.
He probably shrunk it and enlarged it. He shrunk it to move it and then let it go back to its normal size.
That's what I was worried about. Do we have the capability of doing that?
I currently know.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth our time to explore this. This is going to stay protected for a little bit of time at least. We need somebody who can remove the rock. We need somebody who's a little more adept at magic than the two of us. They might be able to counter the trap. At this point in time, I don't think it's worth our time to even try this.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I had an opportunity to learn to spell magic, but wasted that.
So, were you going to check to see if you could figure out the spell?
I still want to do an Arcana check, yes.
Okay.
But I'm not going to touch anything. Arcana?
Are you trained in it?
I am. That's 19.
I'm going to message you the spell name.
That's it?
That's it. It looks very similar in its writing to another spell that you think it is. But that's the spell.
Okay.
So the verdict?
I'm just going to look over at Justice and go, we're worried about nothing.
Oh?
That's just an alarm.
And he's dead.
And he's dead.
So now we just need to move the rock.
And if it's set to someone else, we'll just kill them.
Yes. Because anyone who was around him is a miscreant. So now between the two of us, we have to move the rock.
Do you think we could tip it over?
All we can do is try.
Heave ho.
Okay, can I use my athletics in this one, or?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Are you working together?
Yes.
All right, whoever has the higher athletics can roll with advantage.
Okay, that would likely be me.
Probably. I've only got a +2.
And I've got a +3. Okay, so 18.
You start to brace yourself up against this rock, and the two of you push back and then shove at it, and then it just falls over easily. This rock has been hollowed for the most part.
Oh, jeez.
It looks like this person has spent the better part of... The reason that this thing has scorch marks all over it, it looks like they used like
Fire to
Firebolt
melt it?
and Scorching Ray to dig out most of the inside of this stone.
Nice.
You're pretty
Okay.
sure that Dionysus could, give it enough leverage, be able to knock this thing over. Kind of like there's a, you use a +1 sword with a rock nearby, and you could
Lever it.
lever it over.
So what's inside of this rock?
Underneath this area, you find a reasonable stash.
Okay.
In total, there is... So I'm going to roll out the coins real quick, and then I'll go through the other stuff.
And that is why you are the intelligent one.
So that's 24 copper. $8 silver. $6 gold pieces. There is a few cut gemstones in there.
Okay. Do we have someone that knows their...
Wells is very good with jewelry. Wells is a professional jeweler.
Then Wells will see what we have.
There are there looks to be a tent stashed in there.
Okay.
A set of cook's utensils.
Mm-hmm.
One guitar. A couple flutes. So what were the weapons that I had picked out for being in there? There are 3 daggers, a rapier, and a flail as well.
Okay.
And there's
Does the
also...
rapier look better than mine?
Yes.
You were able to detect magic before. Are you able to do so now?
It's still up. Detect
It is-
magic is still up.
Detect magic is still up. So one of these stones is magical.
Oh,
One of the gems?
One of the gemstones is magical.
Ooh, okay.
The rapier is magical.
ooh.
The tent is magical.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
One of the flutes is magical.
Okay.
And the chain shirt at the very bottom is magical.
Ooh. Oh, it's good that you had the detect magic. We would have missed that shirt.
No, the chain shirt you can see, but the chain shirt is magical.
Okay.
Well, this is quite the haul. That was worth our time, absolutely. The others are going to be very pleased.
Well, that is wonderful.
Would you mind keeping an eye out as we walk back so that I can get a head start on identifying some of these?
There
course.
is also a 2 scroll containers,
Okay.
and they are they have several different pieces of paper in them each.
I think we should go through all of this back at camp.
Yes. That way we get out of here because, well, if somebody else is tagged on that alarm, we should move. And secondly, strength in numbers.
Indeed. Do I still have... Let me check something. No, I don't.
Hi, Dad.
Excuse me.
Let's get on back.
Yes, let's.
So how many non-magical gemstones do we have?
There are 3 non-magical, 1 magical.
Okay.
Perfect.
I do have to say, you were quite effective in persuading the gentleman. I noticed that you really hadn't tortured him any further.
No, it's... A little bit of torture goes a long way. But personally, I find it slightly distasteful, though necessary at times. Persuasion is what I'm good at.
Ah.
And sometimes a little bit of physical persuasion mixed with the right verbal is the best combination.
Well, I will have to think on that one. I'm very adverse to torture, unless, of course, fully warranted. Anyone who goes after children should die a very painful death.
Agreed. Children are sacred. And to be frank, most of you are children to me. So I've had many decades to perfect my arts.
I see. So then you are of the elven persuasion.
Very much so. If the ears want a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I really should have asked for descriptions of everyone.
It's hard to get descriptions off of one of them. They wear a mask.
Yeah, Sorka is... I feel bad for Sorka. She enjoyed a quiet life before I decided to take her shopping, and we ended up in a battle on the docks, dealing with a baron, and just everything that's happened since.
Dealing with a baron? And you are alive to speak of it?
Technically dealing with 2. Only physically meeting 1. It's been crazy.
Yes, it has. It has.
Not ready for that.
In my case, I actually give me a second here. I originally high from the Silver Rose Barony. There was a situation with my family, and until I can effectively take care of the Baron there, I had to leave.
Fair enough. We all hail from the blue, though we've had dealings with the white as well. And probably aren't on the best of terms with the purple.
Aren't on the best of terms with purple. Good to know. Good to know. I passed through the black. That is a very interesting barony.
It is. I personally have dealings with the black, but not so much above board.
Although the above board is, as I said, quite surprising. Oh, okay. So that's Sorka. Gotcha.
What are you eating? No, bullshit.
She's quite useful. She's a good person. She's very angry at me, though.
You mentioned the fact that she was a very quiet and shy person, and you don't seem to be that kind of person.
No, I really am not.
By the way, we are making our way back
Yes.
to camp as we're talking.
As a note, the magical stone that you have is a dark blue rhomboid.
Oh my god. This is me, not my character.
Yours.
Sorka, remind me, do you have Identify as well?
I do not.
No? Okay, just me. That's fine. I'll identify everything when we get back to camp. I go, well, you are welcome to travel with us to the Unclaimed lands.
Well, it sounds like you have, even though the means are a little, well, no, they're about on par with what I would normally do. So you have a similar temperament to Justice. I would very much enjoy seeing where this relationship goes.
I can't speak for the rest, but they're decent people. They would probably welcome the company.
That is good to hear. I do definitely appreciate the help that I was given, both from your, I'm assuming, paladin and your healer.
Yeah, paladin is that might be somewhat inaccurate at the moment. A lot has happened.
Oh. Yes, 'cause I did notice that he was without colors.
Yeah, it kind of has to deal with why we're traveling to the Unclaimed lands, though. I think we'll hold the full details of that to our chest for the moment.
That is understandable.
Having just met you today.
Well, yes. So, just to give you a bit more of a description, my character is very tall, lanky, and quite androgynous. This is basically a mix of various different. Give me a second. I think it's about 6.5 feet.
Oh, good. I'm still the tallest in the party. Yay.
6'5", actually. But I'm half your size, more than likely.
Oh, so you're rail thing.
Almost. very tight toned muscles.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Where's the rest of my description here? Very, yes, striking features: skin a dark smoky gold, lips have a bluish tinge. What hair they have is pewter and natural bright red highlights. Their eyes feel like they're burning a hole into your soul and are deep orange crimson in color.
I don't think I've quite ever seen somebody of your ancestry before.
That is because I have quite a mixed ancestry. We're the best way to describe part of my lineage is celestial.
Then you might have some more in common with one of us than I thought. As you can tell, though, we really don't hold any prejudice on ancestry. I'm Elvin, Wells is a human. We've got a damn lizard folk.
That is unusual. They don't tend to associate with other races very well, from my knowledge. Granted, it is sparse.
His family is a long line of knights. They're strange.
And adopted.
Yes. Okay. Oh, quick question. Everybody has the well, actually, yeah, no, everybody does have it. So you guys do notice that I do have a heavy leather duster, very similar to yours, on as well. You see the scimitars. I have one strapped on each hip, and everything else, really don't see much of it. But again, the coat you are familiar with.
Yeah. Incredibly handy.
Very much so. Very, very much so. I actually do have a tent in here. I broke down the support poles so that it wasn't too long. But otherwise, yes, it's been quite handy.
I've basically got a general goods store in mind, so we're okay.
Other than a pick, I'm pretty much covered for any form of exploration. I am going to have to get a pick or two.
Maybe we can trade some of the weapons that we've acquired from.
Oh, this is not weaponry. This is just
No.
a pick for exploration.
Oh, I know, but maybe we can trade some of the weapons we acquired from the bandits.
Oh, yes. Because carrying all that, as much as these coats are useful, I don't want to risk overwhelming them.
The wagons are really for keeping supplies between towns for the horses, and robbing bandits of their things.
Reacquiring possessions that the evildoers have taken.
Yes. Is it really robbery if it's taken from a criminal?
That's exactly it.
You are able to make it back to the party.
Guys, I bring presents.
Do we really want to wake the spellcasters?
Are they asleep?
It is just becoming dark.
Oh, okay. Well, at that point in time, yes, please. Feel free to announce.
I bring presents.
You see Talda's ears perk up.
By this time, my tent's already set up, and they kind of just peek out. Presents?
More shit to sell, and I've got magical goodies.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'll be out in a second.
Hey, Wells, these are for you, and I dropped the 3 non-magical gems in their hand.
Yeah,
Looks
Wilson
like
immediately
armor can
start
be heard
looking
from
at
inside
them.
my tent.
Give me a wisdom check at advantage with your proficiency as well. So proficiency and at advantage. Wisdom.
Okay, so just straight wisdom check, but add proficiency?
Yeah, wisdom or intelligence, your choice.
Okay.
Essentially, you're using your jeweler's knowledge and memory. So essentially, it's a jeweler's kit, but you can use your wisdom or intelligence, and you are proficient with jeweler's kit. So,
Okay, and so that's just a flat roll plus proficiency?
At advantage.
at advantage.
Uh,
You're not really being rushed in looking them over.
Oh, thank God for the advantage. That's, let's see. And then plus 2, 14.
14. You're pretty sure that the lowest price you could get off of one of these stones is about 50 to 100 gold before mounting them.
Okay.
Like, these are very nice. Like, they're polished. They're a little scuffed from being just tossed into a kind of rocky hole. But you're pretty sure that you could bring them up to each of them being able to be worth, on their own, about 100 gold. Like, this is the kind of stuff that a noble or, like, your family or higher in aficionado range.
Okay, yeah.
So, rich people could take advantage of this stuff really well. And if you mount them, they would do quite nicely.
All right.
Very nice, gems. We've got some more cooking utensils for the camp. I just throw the daggers and stuff with the other weapons. And I've got magical goodies. I'm pretty sure I'm laying claim to this rip here, though. And possibly this flute.
Okay.
Also, I vouch for Justice. I think he's going to be a good traveling companion for us.
Thank you.
You see this very young-looking tabaxi look you up and down.
And you are?
Tala Longstrider.
Well, hello there, Tala. A pleasure to meet you.
He bows some to you. He then goes and continues setting up a little spot near the cart.
Okay. So we're finishing setting up camp. This area, did I hear, smell any game or anything like that in the area?
The closest to game, aside from the few crispy horses from the cart that was carrying you, closest thing that you could find, you've seen some dire wolves in the area occasionally, but you're pretty sure that with the bandits nearby, they're probably not nearby.
Okay,
at
so
this
how
time.
bad is the horse meat?
Gives me a survival check. At advantage.
Crispy McCourse meat coming right up.
17.
17. You're pretty sure that if cut down well, it would do well in a stew, or well, actually be more of a soup, because stews take a long ass time. Everyone who says, "Oh yeah, we had stew on the road," no, you didn't.
No,
you fucking
you had
didn't.
soup.
You had soup. It'd be
Yeah.
good. You're pretty sure that you'd be able to make some good soup with it, or cut it down. It's not going to be the best of meat, but it is protein.
And that's exactly it. I'm looking at it. Waste not, want not. Does anyone object to me making a soup with the unfortunate remains of our pack animals?
No, go ahead. And I pull. You see me reach into a pocket and pull out a couple bit containers of various spices like salts and.
I mean, I'll eat anything.
We know.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
seeing
fine.
I go. Feel free to use these.
Actually, I do have my own set of spices. Thank you. We should compare what we have, just to make sure that
To
we
be
can
honest,
complement.
I bought these because I found a cookbook that's actually a spell book.
Speaking of spellbook, did we did acquire one off of the caster? Did we not?
Oh, we did.
We should definitely make sure that those of you who can use it, see what you can do with it, and that could
None of us.
fetch a pretty penny as well. Anyways, on that note, I am going to head. If there is no fire yet, I am going to create one.
You
With a
don't have to roll
19
for
is
setting up a camp. You are proficient enough.
I'm making sure the camp is not highly visible.
Okay.
I want it effective, but not advertise the fact that we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. And I get doing actually I've got do we have a source of water around here?
Nothing very good for at least the better part of a day. But
Okay. Well, then if anyone has any spare water skins, I'll grab one of mine and we can I can definitely get working on this.
There's plenty in the wagon.
Oh. Okay. Well, I go check the wagon. Grab a couple of water skins equivalent of, and start getting everything ready. Checking for tubers or anything like that to throw in there.
yeah, you're able to make a. Give me a. Are you proficient with chef's tools?
Unfortunately, not.
All right. Give me a roll. You are not going to be able to get your proficiency, but either wisdom or. Oh yeah, we'll use wisdom for getting this done.
Okay, that is a 12. Not the best roll.
It's okay.
Still pretty good.
It's edible. It's just kind of bland.
It's a little more charred than I expected.
Well, not necessarily charred. It's just you didn't use enough salt, and you're pretty worried that if you start adding salt, you're going to over salt it. So it's very watery in flavor, but it's still got the meat in there. It's still protein.
Yeah,
it's hot and it fills your stomach.
Yeah, I do grab my own spices and try and make at very least mine a little bit better.
And I take a bite, just yum. This is great. I like this.
Oh,
Azarath, you have no taste buds. If it has meat, you're happy.
Meat is meat.
I'm sure that he's eaten things that are rotten.
So, while dinner is being prepared, I'll identify the other stuff we got, starting with the gem.
The gem is a Iron Stone of Awareness.
Ooh.
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 Say all three people who have very high perception already.
Not me. I'm the only ooh that does not have that.
Oh, okay.
That might be going to our lizard folk. What is the tent?
The tent is... You're not able to fully identify it. You're not exactly sure why, but you can't fully identify. You do realize that once it is put together and set up, it does have a like minor pocket dimension aspect to it.
It's bigger on
Does
the
it seem like
inside.
it can be taken down after I put it up? Or is it like a one-time placement type tent?
No, it's able to. It keeps its magic, and yes, it is the bigger on the inside kind of range. But for some reason, it is like when you set it up and check the magic. It's bigger, but it is very like it is just bigger inside. You're pretty sure that you could fit the entire party in here with some space for moving around.
Do I get the sense that if we walk in with our expanded space adventurer's coats, that might be a problem?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the astral plane.
Not yet.
Well, you don't want to end up in the ocean? Somewhere in the thinking abyss?
No. Okay. The flute.
The flute... Let's see here. It is a... Let's see here. It is a Flute of Thaumaturgy. And it has a couple spells that connected to it that it is not revealing to you. But you are able to detect that it has Thaumaturgy amongst the spells, and
Is it free or does it have a certain number of charges for thaumaturgy?
Thaumaturgy is, as long as you cast using the flute itself, it has the cantrip just built into it.
Okay.
You're also noticing that it is radiating divine magic.
Okay. Is the rapier just a +1 rapier?
It is a +1 rapier. That also seems to be hiding some stuff from you.
Okay. What about the chain shirt?
Chain shirt is a +1 chain shirt.
Who wears chain?
If no one else does, I can use chain. It's a bit heavier than I like, but just have a quick look-see.
The chain shirt is, of course, masterworked. So it is able to get on and off easier, but the magic has made it tougher.
I'm just looking to see. Oh, yes, remove that because that's no longer there. And 4 hands I had. Okay, so basically it doesn't change my AC at all.
For chain +1.
The chain +1 would not change your armor class?
Not at all, because I lose 2 points of dex.
Wells, what do you wear for armor?
Yeah, I'm just wearing a breastplate.
Are you agile or?
I would say all right. I would say
So-
all right. So basically, he has a +2 to dexterity, but that's kind of it.
So then studded leather versus chain versus breastplate. The chain would give you, actually I think it's about the same.
Well, it's a chain shirt, not chain mail, right?
Chain shirt.
So it would be 14 AC.
Which a breastplate is the same, if I recall.
Yes, it is.
So then the +1 would actually benefit you.
Well, the chain shirt is 13 base, so +1
Oh.
would be 14.
Okay,
Yeah.
so again, I definitely don't want.
But perhaps we sell this one.
It could be.
That would fetch a lot of gold.
That it would. On the flip side, do we know? Okay, this is something. Do we know if magical armor is, other than being masterwork, more resistant to things, such as critical hits or anything like that?
Unless it's made of adamantium, it shouldn't affect criticals.
Okay. Well, I'm asking is this something that is changing in this campaign? Not so much.
No, it does not have any additional properties at this time other than...
Okay. So then, it would be worth selling the shirt then.
That'll fetch a pretty penny. Is anyone other than me musically inclined?
Musically inclined? No.
A little bit.
Do you have any cantrips?
No, I don't have cantrips.
Do you want a cantrip?
That would be cool.
Do you want a Flute of Thaumaturgy?
If you don't want it, sure.
I mean, I do want it, but I really want this rapier.
Which one do you want more? Pick whichever one you want more.
I don't know. Do you need
I'll
an Iron
decide
Stone
that.
of Awareness?
I am very bad at being aware of my surroundings.
Does anyone vote against giving lizard folk a little bit more perception?
Is it just perception, or is it something else? Because
You can't be surprised.
Yeah,
with
that's all it does. Which would benefit somebody scouting versus somebody in the middle of the party.
Okay. Well,
I agree with that.
then-
I am not a scouting.
well, you seem to be pretty stealthy. Are you the scouting type? Justice?
Yes, very much.
I kind of figured. So possibly there. Does anyone use a short sword?
I can. I tend to prefer other weaponry.
Well, then perhaps we sell that too from earlier.
I also
yes,
can, but
right.
I prefer other weaponry.
Storka, what do you use for melee?
I have a little dagger, but I don't tend to get that close to things. Thanks.
Just give me one quick second. I just want to see if a scimitar has the same. I think it has the same damage as a short sword. Because if that is the case, it'd be awkward though. It's not as because it's slashing versus piercing.
I do believe
No.
the short swords do slashing and piercing.
Well, rapier does piercing. Short sword and long sword do slashing.
Short sword does slashing? Not from...
Oh, wait. You might be
No,
right.
you poke with a short sword.
You're right. You're right.
Short sword, short sword, short sword. Where is it? Sword, short. Short sword, piercing.
Yep, piercing.
And finesse and light, which I could use it.
It does have a d6.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same as my scimitars. Well, it's extra damage, I guess. But I don't really want to, being that I just met you, don't want to be taking 2 magic items already. But
Sorka has an Amulet of Protection. We have an Iron Stone of Awareness up for grabs. The chain shirt, I believe we're going to sell.
yes.
I'm going to experiment with this tent, and I'm taking the rapier. I'm the only one who uses a rapier.
Mm-hmm.
As for selling things of magical variety, you have you do know, just world base, it is difficult to move those items unless you have a curator.
Yes, but it's something to hold on to for cash later.
Well, if no one objects, yes, definitely the Iron Stone. And I will take the short sword. As I said, it does increase my melee damage. It's not something that I tend to do. I prefer eliminating problems from a distance, but I can definitely do so from close up as well.
Up close protection is always good. So, yeah, I mean, if you want a Flute of Thaumaturgy, I can let you have that, Azarath. If you discover something that's really good for me on it, though, please tell me.
Sure.
Because I feel like there's more to it than Thaumaturgy. I'm also unsure of whether giving you Thaumaturgy is a good idea or not.
Yeah.
I think it goes very well with his non-stealthy approach.
I'm very reluctantly going to hand over the magical flute to Azarath.
I retreat back to my tent as soon as it's in my hands. Armor
Well, here's
clattering
an
the
idea for
entire
that
way.
green shirt. Until we can sell it, what if we give that to Tala? I don't think Tala's very strong enough for a plate yet, and we don't have any of that.
What is she wearing?
He
Oh,
has
sorry.
a armor class of 18 right now.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
As a Justicar retainer, his AC is set to 18.
Okay. Well, then I also pass out 2 gold, 3 silver, and 8 copper to everybody.
I will
2
give
gold,
back
3
mine.
silver, 8 copper.
2 gold, 3 silver, 8 copper.
if I'm going to be having the 2 magic items, that's more than enough for my share. Thank you. I don't
Don't
need
forget you have your druid that is still part of the party.
Druid can't use metal armor, so.
Yeah, Druid can't use metal armor.
Well, I'm saying for passing out cash.
Oh, okay. So we'll give Justice's share of gold to the Druid.
Hey, 15 gold pieces again.
You are broke as shit.
Yep, it is.
I know.
Let's go to my please.
And whenever it comes to be my turn on watch, I'm gonna just set up that tent and I'm gonna walk in and see if there's anything other than space in there.
As such, I'm going to just set up my own tent.
Give me a investigation check as before heading into the tent.
Investigation.
At advantage because you have done identify on it.
Okay. 23.
Oh, nice.
23.
That advantage got me a natural 20, so.
All right, you do realize that there is some writing on it, like around the opening area, that you do not recognize. Well, you've seen the lettering, but you cannot read it yourself.
Okay, well then I'm going to cast Comprehend Languages.
It is in Sukari, and says, one second, let me write this down so that my brain actually has it set, and we just lost him for a moment. It reads, "Give welcome and enter as the host."
Get welcomed?
Give welcome and enter as the host.
Does that seem like it's instructions?
Yes.
Would I know what to do?
You have a strong sneaking suspicion, sending it over.
Tolkien, anyone?
I apologize. My everything crashed.
No, glad you're back, though.
Kind of what I thought. As I walk in, I don't speak the language. Comprehend language, it doesn't do that.
You get the feeling that it
The
does not
best
require Sukari to be worked.
Yeah. In Elven, I mutter to myself, or I say out loud, welcome to our humble abode.
As you open up the tent, it is adorned in the similar settings as most, like, small, quaint areas from the Blue Rose. So that Greek kind of architecture. There are bedding sections set up for everyone in your party currently. There's a small hearth in the middle with seats around it. And this looks like a... It does not have any, like, food or stuff in it, but it does have bedding and... bedding, seating, and cooking space accommodations for 7 to 8 people.
I poke my head out. Sorry to disturb your rest, but let's camp indoors. Everyone. Indoors.
Okay.
Come in here.
I
Welcome home.
follow suit.
As a note, the fairly Greek architecture does have a little bit of the fairly Tolkien-styled elven flair to it.
Is it because I spoke in Elven?
It is because you are a high elf.
Perfect. Yeah, welcome home, guys. We have a mobile house.
I will not complain. I can sleep on the ground, but a nice warm bed always works.
I'll keep an eye at the door.
The tent from the outside looks like just a little bit larger than your average tent.
We sleep in style now, bitches.
The markings on the outside have also changed just a little bit. And the opening, the statement at the top is now written in Elven.
That's interesting.
The evening goes with no hitches or hiccups. You're pretty sure that the closest bandits that were in the area are the ones that you had dispatched. And thanks to their activity in the close area, the wildlife has currently kept at bay.
I sent you a message.
Okay. Well, then I guess we rest for the night. Now, the biggest thing is, what are we doing for watch?
However you set up watch, it will not... you won't even have to be rolling for guard this evening.
Well,
I let pretty much everyone sleep most of the night. I just trance next to the door.
okay.
All right. As the morning comes and you all prepare for your next leg of journey, you realize that though you are a good ways away from your destination, the hardest part of the journey seems to be behind you as it is.
Okay.
Leaving behind family, friends, the places you once knew. Around the corner is a hopeful tomorrow. We can continue on a little bit more, or would you like to stop here for the evening?
Up to you guys.
I'm good
I would-
continuing along as my entire thing doesn't crash a third time.
I'm good for continuing myself.
Yeah.
I'm fine to continue.
All right. Someone needs to give me a roll for your next leg of travel. This leg of travel is going to eat away 1 week's of travel.
D20?
New guy.
Yeah, we'll drop to the new guy.
Yeah, give it to the new guy.
Okay.
Come on, all.
15.
15. Your next leg of travel is actually very like there's some annoying weather patterns. But as you leave the rocky crags and the hills into the mild forests heading north and starting to turn a little bit east, your travel is fairly easy and comfortable. You are not losing any time, and you're well on pace. You
that's
are 4 days away from a fairly traditional feasting day for those that are normally in connection to the Golden Rose. It is easily ignored if you wish to just press through.
4 days away from feasting day. Okay. Which
Golden Blossom.
Golden Blossom?
Yeah.
I would know something of that.
The Golden Blossom is a mid spring holiday.
Okay.
Usually in regards to the height of the blooming of the of things.
Okay. As I have some links to that, would it be something that I would
Celebrate?
follow? Yes.
Not as thoroughly. Probably have a heartier meal for dinner, but your family did not observe that holiday as thoroughly. They made it a little bit special because of your entry into the family, but not as fine. Though Sorka, I am sending you a quick message on your connection to this day. If you wish to celebrate it under those pretenses, you can.
Yes, I will.
Are you having the party stop for it?
No, but I will like move to like a more isolated area of the wagon and just kind of meditate and yeah. I'm just quiet for a while.
Would you like me to make that stew from that cookbook we found?
Sure, that would be fine.
That fairly expensive meal. I'm going to attempt to make that.
Give me a... Seeing as we're going off the book, intelligence.
And intelligence.
Are you proficient with chef's tools?
Nope.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You do realize that some of the ingredients are actually marked improperly for the amount of for how the ingredients were done. You're pretty sure that the values are for what you are sure this book is for, not for what the book is. But you are able to make a pretty good stew out of it. It's actually more like a goulash over a standard stew.
Okay.
Can I make an Arcana check?
Yes,
Ew.
you can.
I'm just curious as to what this recipe is code for. Making that realization. 16.
16. You're pretty sure that the spell for this is... I had the spell, then I lost the spell. This is either a find familiar spell or a what is that one? What is that animal summoning? What is that animal summoning one? Why is it that the druid spells look weird in my eyes? Hooray, minor dyslexia.
Summon minor woodland creatures.
Yeah.
I present to you summoning goulash for your enjoyment. I'm not sure if it's Bambi or a familiar, but summoning goulash.
The rest of your day is fairly uneventful. By the way, as of this evening, the end of the 16th day of Renderos, Sorka, those dreams stop.
Okay.
Or conjure woodland beings. That's it.
Who wants to give me the roll for the journey from the 18th to the 24th?
I'll do it again if
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Wells likes us to be in combat.
Hey, blame the sword.
As the journey gets closer to closer through the forested areas, and on the other side, you're able to see the edge of the lake that you will have to cross, and you can either go around it or charter a ship. A storm is on the horizon. In either way, you are now going to be down a few days.
Would we be able to take our animals and cart and wagon on a ship?
You're pretty sure that you'll be able to find a ship in this area that could do so. This particular lake that you're going to have to cross is one of the Grand Lakes. One of the very few that larger ships can get up into.
Okay.
Oh, problem. Storm on this lake might capsize it.
Oh, yeah.
And you are able to see at the about a day's travel away before the storm a very large town. Very large town, a small city.
Should we go to town and hunker down and wait out the storm?
Well, if we don't have any hard timeline,
We also need to restock on supplies for the horses.
excuse me for all the yawning. Unfortunately, I was eager to get this going this morning and was constantly waking up before my alarm.
Glad you were excited.
It's been a long time since I've played. I DM a lot, don't play very often, so. So what was the question? Sorry,
Should we go to town and wait out the storm?
Yes. Well, as I said, it's if there's no hard.
No real need to take risks.
Yeah. How big of a town is this?
It's pretty big. Looks to be mostly a most of the buildings in the area that you can see from your vantage point are warehouses, things like that. It has quite a few docks, and you're able to see a two-mast ships docked in, next to this large town.
So very possible this is a trading hub?
This is a trading hub. And this is probably going to be your last trading hub from here to the Unclaimed lands.
If anywhere, this would be likely a place for us to see if we can offload what we have, including the magical that we don't seem to need.
Unlikely on the magical, but it's worth a shot, I guess. But we have a lot of armor that we really don't need.
Just from what I've seen, yes. I'm assuming that the pile has now overflowed the actual lip of the wagon.
Not quite yet, but getting close.
Mm-hmm.
As you roll into town, you all notice a very particular thing. You see three different groupings of people among the streets. The larger quantities are men and women in traditional blue rose attire. We're also seeing quite a lot of purple, and there is a one of the ships that you see has the markings of the Red Lotus.
Okay.
And
The
there,
Red Lotus.
we will call it for the evening.
Oh.
Thank you all very much for joining us today. And we will be back in 2 weeks, hopefully with full cast and crew. So, from everyone here at the Guildhall Gamers, roll well, be safe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
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 Thank you for watching all the way through to the end. If you like what you saw, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as click that bell notification. We play Roses in the Dark every other Sunday, and we do either Minecraft or Sims on Mondays in the evening. Until next time, be well, and have a great time.